Now, back to the interview from a few minutes ago with Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. The best of the morning X.
99X.
We're going to quickly open up our phone lines, too. 7410997 if you want to talk to Pat Sajak or Alex Trebek.
Oh, I hope Vanna calls.
Hey, you guys gonna be able to catch the game or anything this weekend? Any of the baseball games?
I'm not. I'll be working. I don't know about you, Alex.
No, I was just so delighted. I was in Minneapolis last night, and I arrived in time to get to a sports bar to watch the Lakers. I mean, the night before last, to watch the Lakers beat the Magic. And then last night I got at the hotel here, and I watched some of the Knicks game, and the Lakers beat the Miami Heat last night, and they're coming in here to play the Hawks, I believe, on Friday night, tomorrow night. I wish I were able to stay here, but I have to leave for Cleveland today. We're doing
that's the difference between Alex and me. I come into town and we're working hard taping shows. He's hanging out at bars.
Yeah, he's coming in to do the bar thing, head out, hang out.
Yep.
Really? Hey, Alex, I've always wanted to ask you something about preparing each show for Jeopardy. Is the hardest part for you making sure the pronunciations on a lot of the European pronunciations and foreign words? Is that the most difficult part?
Yes.
It is. In a word. There
Thank
you go.
In a word, yes. Yeah. But I do what a lot of Americans should do and don't do, even with English words, and that is look them up in the dictionary. I have people who write me and try to correct my pronunciation of certain words, and I have to write them back. I don't have to write them back, but I do write them back because I want to be polite with them. And I tell them, look, according to the 3 dictionaries on my desk, my pronunciation was right. What's your authority?
But you probably learned, Alex, you can't win an argument with a viewer. When I was doing the weather out in Los Angeles, every year we get these Santa Ana winds that come in, and every year I would get letters from longtime Los Angeles people saying, "You dummy, it's Santana, it's not Santa Ana."
Yeah.
So I would look them up in dictionaries, and the dictionaries told me it was Santa Ana. So someone wrote in persistently, and I finally just Xeroxed the dictionary page where it said Santa Ana, and she said, you people come out here from the east and ruin our language. It's Santana. So I send the dictionary page to her. She writes back and said, "Yeah, but the dictionary was written by you jerks from the east, so you cannot win."
You guys want to take a phone call?
Oh, all right.
Sure.
Hi, Vanna.
No.
Let's go to Trey. Hey, Trey, you're on.
Hey, what's up? My question was, I wanted to ask, who would win in a fight between Alex and Pat there?
That's a good question. That's an excellent question.
What kind of a fight?
Fist fight.
I'd put money on Alex, but
a street fight.
A street fight?
Yeah.
Well, if it were a street fight that were taking place on a hockey rink, I might win.
Well,
I think in any other kind of exchange between us, Pat would win.
I'm seeing Pat as more of a cat fighter. Alex, I'm seeing you as more of a technician.
No, I'm not a technician. If I get a chance, I will bite your throat and grab you somewhere else and squeeze till your eyes bug right out of your head.
Well, I know when Alex
violent.
When Alex
I'm
was with
influenced
the
by
world,
Africa.
Okay, Pat.
Yeah, a few years ago, Alex, I know you were with the World Wrestling Federation.
I was.
That's right.
You were the masked game show host.
I was.
You were good. I don't know who would win, but Alex and I have no reason to fight because we're peace loving.
Because you love, I know.
Let's talk to Dan. Good morning, Dan. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. This question is for Alex Trebek. I was curious.
Please frame it in the form of an answer.
Of a question.
Question. Answer.
Okay. How do the contestants generally prepare for your show?
I think it's very difficult to prepare for any specific Jeopardy program. You can, of course, thumb through some almanacs and things like that just to refresh yourself on geographical information or American history information, particularly
you
U.S.
obviously
presidents.
don't pull them out of the audience.
I'm sorry?
You obviously don't pull them out of the audience.
They have to take they have to take a test, and it's a very tough test. But what some people don't understand, and I try to point this out as often as I can, is the fact that every game show has its own test, and there are people who could pass the Jeopardy test who could not pass the Wheel of Fortune test. And Pat will tell you that some of the puzzles they give you to solve as you're trying to become a Wheel of Fortune contestant are not all that easy. Am I right, Pat?
Yeah, the mind is. There are professors who've studied a particular subject for years and years who can't do a crossword puzzle. It's just your mind works in different ways, and of course our players have to before they come on. The caller didn't ask me the question, but our players have to familiarize themselves with the alphabet before they
have to know
Yeah,
at least they have to know
true.
at least 80% of it, don't they?
At least
Pat?
80%.
we have a
Right.
cutoff. We have a cutoff point. They have to know 80% of the consonants, and they have to know at least all but one vowel.
I would never make it on Jeopardy because I play at home and I lose every day.
See, I do really well
suck
at home.
at that game.
You know, but it's what I always find interesting about Jeopardy is the rules. The rule of game shows is a game show is successful if you can play along. Like with Wheel of
Right.
Fortune, you walk past the set, you can't help but play along. You see the puzzle up there, you try to guess, you yell at
but
the
also
player.
on the Wheel of Fortune, you're looking for a kind of, a really spirited type person who's
Yeah.
all kind of
Well,
just
it's a little
outgoing
different. But
and happy and
Alex,
willing to applaud every spin of the wheel.
But Alex, you can't. I'm fascinated because it happens so fast on Jeopardy. In a way, you break that rule, don't you?
Well, in a way, yes, but in another way, no. Because what happens on Wheel of Fortune, both Wheel and Jeopardy, I believe, succeed because of the same reason. They really involve the viewer. You can't just be vacuuming your floor while the game is on. You want to play.
Yeah, but
you want
Jeopardy,
to
the
participate.
contestants are a lot more reserved.
What's that?
The contestants tend to be a lot more reserved.
Well, I think that's true of people who are bright or who consider themselves bright because
Yeah.
they're so used to succeeding, they're afraid of making a mistake because they'll be a little embarrassed. If you are the person in your family or in your circle of friends who is recognized as being the sharpest individual, you might be a little reluctant to open your mouth and say something that might reveal that you are not the brightest person in the group. But when you watch Wheel, you compete with the players, and most of the time, you at home will solve the puzzle before the contestants do. On Jeopardy, it's just the reverse. The contestants get it before you. But before you get a chance to feel too discouraged about yourself, we've got another clue. We run about one clue every 12 seconds. So you don't have a chance to get down on yourself. Whoops, here comes another. Hey, I know that, or I knew that. Geez, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't
you
know
do
that.
participate. You do get involved.
And by the way, when you're hosting Wheel of Fortune, you can vacuum the floor at the same time.
Exactly. You get more of the intellectual crowd on Jeopardy and more of kind of a fun party atmosphere on Wheel of Fortune, in my
that's right.
opinion.
That's the difference between the two.
Yeah, Dan.
Well, they
thanks-
serve alcoholic beverages on
Exactly.
Wheel of Fortune, which we don't do on Jeopardy.
This interview isn't over. More after a quick break. You can also find it and more on the Morning X with Barnes and Leslie podcast. You're inside the best of the Morning X.
Former MLB All-Star Sean Casey, a.k.a. The Mayor, keeps hitting it out of the park.
Take my 30 years of experience. Take the wisdom and knowledge I've learned from the failures when I got sent down my rookie year, all the injuries I had to overcome. Your mind is the most important tool you have in life. Be relentless. Keep charging. It matters how you talk to yourself, how you look at the world. That matters. We talk about that. I don't know. I'm fired up. Baseball's back, and it's going to be incredible. I love it.
The Mayor's Office with Sean Casey from Believe.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.